obviously you can get it on X as well. It's XAI. Also, another funding round potentially. This one I haven't confirmed on XAI. Others have reported a value as much as $75 million. His $97 billion offer for the non-profit arm of OpenAI, which controls the assets that are controlling a control stake in OpenAI, was turned down. We're going to monitor that, though, closely. And then there's Doge, which you heard making yourself talk about earlier.
Continues to tell there's a big fight with Trump and Musk. I just understand that's completely untrue.
Which one is this?
You know, the mainstream media keeps saying Musk and Trump.
Check this off.
Not yet. Now they're getting along.
You surprised that Time Magazine cover you spotted it.
Yeah, no. So far that has not happened. It's less than a month into the new administration.
David, okay, so I'm going to ask you. You've been with him. I mean, how's he able to like do this private and public so easily?
It's incredible. I don't know. There's so many different things.
Rat support here in the S&P,
Obviously, I think Jonas had no doubt today.
but there's also longer-term support
You think
here.
about SpaceX.
I would like to get in here, close to
It's hard
this level.
hard to imagine.
But look, on the one hand, I applaud him for trying to do so much for the country, for his shareholders. And the other thing, it's very hard to, you have to justify that. He's not an elected official.
He's not
in America, that's official. We don't have a rogue
There
smear
are a lot of
country.
things that have never quite been seen or done before that are occurring right now that we'll have to see. And as Megan said, we don't have any transparency.
Well, we still have
though it has been promised when it comes
more to
to
go on the actual cash index. So we could go higher. See these points? We're not really overbought yet. We're not really overbought. We still have some ways to go.
3 million federal workers then during that.
See?
By the way, you and I both know, I mean, we both read about Grant, you know, the
Maybe people start
Patriot
hedging. Maybe people are putting hedges maybe
which
now,
was
just
in
in case.
place into the 1870s.
The
Garfield
4-hour
tried to get rid of it,
S&P,
but Garfield got shot
maybe
and then
pull back
screwed over by his doctors. I
here.
read that book. Great book.
Is it 1697? Maybe up to 1683.
I know. So the
Buy
Patriot
back.
system somewhere is what we're going to be going back to here. That really this is a disguised attempt. And again, this is another side of it. That says it's not really about saving money. It's about getting rid of all these people and then replacing them with people who are loyalists.
Right now, the Democrats
Let's look at Apple.
just say, look, there's going to be lawsuits for everything that happens.
Apple
It's just going to
pulling
rule in
back.
favor of the people who are incumbents. And it hasn't turned out that way so far. And if anything, it's
Nvidia, we just like the only one
if you look at it,
that's working.
it's packed.
Oh, Google,
People who would, I think, agree with everything that Trump is doing. And
Microsoft, still the same area as last week.
Will end up being made in the courts, certainly, and some in the Supreme Court. All right, back to
Okay, so look, this is Intel.
Intel, again, look at Intel.
Allegedly split up between Taiwan Semi and Broadcom. David, I don't have any.
Up another
Let's
$2.
talk about that. Let's talk about Intel for a moment.
What do you hear about
Well, listen, for some period of time, for quite some period of time, but really, I have to say this has been to a certain extent I don't want to say the imaginings. Bankers are paid to think about things, right? And
Remember they brought it out.
right. So there was the journal reported on Qualcomm having some interest. That was towards the end of last year.
238
We all know
advancing,
Intel has had
263 declining.
discussed it. Jim is
It's the balance sheet from hell. And Dave Zinsser's good, but the balance sheet
so
from hell.
many of the issues. Now, they are still undergoing a CEO search. They obviously are the largest recipient of the CHIPS Act of aid from the U.S. government to help them build fabs. But this idea of splitting the company into fabs and one company taking those and then the other part of the company, the design, everything else going another way, and interest in Broadcom, I talked about it here. It doesn't mean
Coke pulling
anything's
back.
going to happen. The
Pepsi,
key,
new lows.
initiator, frankly, at this point of activity would seem to be the U.S.
Pepsi,
government
new
itself.
lows.
I agree with that. But if you were to do something in terms of splitting this company and having the fabs sold to
DuPont.
another company, wouldn't you need it to be a U.S.-owned company?
Yeah, but I think
and last I heard, TSMC is not a U.S. company.
No, I mean, TSMC's got a very big position here that was built up, and that was something
Let's
that
see.
the Biden administration worked
UPS.
on and the Trump administration worked on. But
Holding
I
up there,
support
holding.
the foundries because you have that latest
Let's
and greatest.
see.
Taiwan Semi
Lockheed
does not
Martin.
need these so far. I
Pulling
question
back.
the balance sheet, whether there's something that says that this must happen. I do want the
Let's look at the
intellectual
S&P,
property, but they're being crushed
ES
by AMD
futures.
and by ARM. I don't know what
S&P
you
500
need
pulling back
if
for
you
some
buy
support.
Intel other than a real bad balance
Right
sheet
here.
and you need the finance things.
It's interesting you say that, though, because Hock Tan is somebody you admire and is a great
Even though the
he does have
oh
real
shoot,
interest
let me go
in
back.
one side of this company.
Yeah, there's some support here. 61.31. Maybe a little dip lower. You see, there's the advancing and declining. This is the S&P 500 total 500 company. Basically, they're about even. The declining are the bears are kind of winning in a way. But I would say it's like 50-50 almost. It's not really bearish, not really bullish. It's just. We'll see how the 1 more minute until the 15-minute closes. Let me see. 15-minute kind of bar.
There's a great deal of momentum behind this. And again, I think the government is their partner, and it's going to be the Trump administration and Lutnick and the like who.
There is a little bit of weakness coming in.
If there was a forcing function, it would be there.
I feel bad that
there you go.
the previous administration
15-minute bar close. We'll see how this does.
And Intel, and I know I did my best to say, listen, guys, you gotta look at this balance sheet. They had really good people, but I think they were.
The Bulls are trying.
I think they were ill-advised in the way they.
But if you look at longer term on the daily chart. Oh shoot. On the daily chart, we're not even overbought yet. We're right here at 65. Overbought's typically around 72. Like here, and these are good levels to hedge. But we're not even there yet.
They're doing better, but look, it was Nvidia. Jensen went to them to say, listen.
So I think we will pull back on the 4 hour.
And they left him out of the building. Yeah, that was wrong.
Jim, I don't know if you followed Medtronic's earnings at all. They aren't being well received.
No, there was no raise.
Down about 7%.
There was no raise. There was a small beat. I was a little disappointed. I had met with Jeff Martha. They come out. It was a die in the range. Don't forget, J&J just got approval to get back in to a competing product. J&J doing a big debt offering. It's doing better. But I was a little let down that there wasn't something.
Let's see a coin flip here.
Boston Scientific is still the winner.
This spot here would be more desirable here. Like for me, I can get it here.
And it helps, but their
Be a
diabetes
sweet
product
spot
is being well received, but it's not
for
enough.
long.
You have to beat and raise, or you have the Merck problem.
I mean, we could get there.
Without beat and raise,
There's some more
healthcare.
room to go down. But that doesn't mean it'll go down here, but we might as well. You're almost halfway there. On the RSI, yep.
They did not indicate how bad it would be. That was wrong. And then they are regarded as being in the forefront of RFK Jr. Right? That wasn't new.
Let's look at the NASDAQ. NASDAQ futures. Same thing in the NASDAQ. NASDAQ.
You're preventing cervical cancer, but apparently he doesn't.
It could be
Here.
Remember, I think he's going there for processed food.
I would like that.
I don't, man. I knew McCollins not well, but he's certainly not so.
Oil. Look at oils. How's oil doing?
Processed food problem, the obesity process.
Oil. Up 60 cents. Well, oil's been in range here for
I will tell you,
quite
I
some
think
time.
RFK Jr. I know was incredibly controversial, and the Republicans had a doctor.
See, natural gas. Natural gas.
But I'm not as pessimistic as others are about
More
it.
bullish than oil, that's for sure.
It's really hard to undo a movement. Although there was a measles outbreak this weekend. Seeing these different outbreaks.
Gold.
People that were done, and because of people who didn't get back.
Yeah, this is weakness.
Jim,
This was last week.
M&A for forever.
6
Don't do it
hours.
quite as much as I once did.
When you're the best.
Man, these are perfect levels to buy gold here. Right to the penny. This gold also is in a bull trend. See, all these levels here could have been bought. Bought here, right here. Because if you look at the long term, the long time frame, the longer ones, this is the daily chart.
Don't write us off. I know, but write us
Shit.
off. But CBS had a monster quarter.
Bull market on gold. All these pullbacks here were bought. Could have bought it. All these levels here too.
But these things, and it's one reason why sometimes I'm better off just not commenting on them until I know they're either it's one way or the other, it's going to happen or not. But here I am hearing that there are still potentially signs of
Bitcoin,
life, which I did want to update, given I previously said it was mostly didn't know how it would work. You know, again, you've got a lot of asset-backed financing you can do here in the States. Apparently, there's
Bitcoin's in a bullish trend too. Right here, but the longer stays, like, doesn't do anything. I feel like the weaker this bull trend kind of gets. You can just like kind of like here, like an M pattern. See the M? It could fall down like this. But still, it's bullish. It's just that the longer it just doesn't do anything, the weaker the bull trend becomes. I mean, there's a gap right here on Bitcoin. It could come here and try to test the gap. 80,267 on Bitcoin.
Alright, let's give you a quick bond report before we head to a break. Let's look at how we haven't even talked treasuries at all, or interest rates.
Shoot.
Haven't actually even looked. I was away, you know, there, look, nothing's changed. We're at 452 on the 10-year. Of course, you can see 10s over 2.
Right here.
So 2-year at 4280.
This
We'll
gap.
be right back.
Tesla. I drew this gap here. This is like a little gap. They did come to fill it, test the gap. They bought it back up, but now there's resistance here. Since this a while back did start crossing over down to the downside, so it's pretty bearish. So there's a lot of sellers here watching these levels. So there's gonna be a lot of like tug and pull here, or tug of war if you want to call it. If this fails again, I think we might test this other gap here. This is a larger gap. See, this one's more, you can see it more. So I can see Tesla. If this fails, test here. What is this? Around 274 on Tesla. Yeah. Yeah, even here. I mean, if you wanted to go long, if you wanted to buy Tesla, I mean, this would be kind of the spot to take a half position. Gotta flip a coin here. Because it's either just gonna take this back, or it's just gonna fall back down. See, because resistance now. It tried once, it failed. It's trying again, but not. Sellers don't want to give up here, man. So for me, I would take a half position. A half. If it works, fine. At least you took half a position. But if it doesn't work, at least you're not taking a big hit because you only went half. And then you can add back down here. The bears, I mean the bulls are taking it back. 293 advancing, 207 declining. About 10 minutes ago, this was like 260 advancing. So now there's more bullish stocks than there is bears. So this should help the S&P. Yeah. Bought it back. Google. It's like almost the same as Tesla. Try to now just selling it back. I don't know. Next 5 point for Google. Man. Oh, there's a gap right here. I mean, it's not that far. 182 for Google. I mean, it's been there kind of once. Unless it comes down and fills it here. At 177. I'm not sure how far back I can go, but I mean, there's some more gaps here. 175. Not that far from 177. Yeah, so if this gap fails here, if it can't hold this gap, which is kind of close to where it is, I would go, I mean, next would be here might just go ahead and fill it at 177. Then there's another one here, 174. For long term, I mean, Google's in an uptrend. Oh, I see. Oh man, these were sweet spots. Man, this would have been a sweet spot right here. Because it doesn't come to this blue indicator EMA that often. I mean, it gets close to it, but it doesn't touch it often. Except this one time. So maybe I drew this line here just because this moves as time goes by, these indicators. So I'm just kind of predicting where this blue indicator might go over time. Can I see the gap from here? Can't really see the gaps on the weekly. Hard to tell. But since it doesn't come to the blue line more often, just like Tesla, I'm gonna take a half position. If it works, fine. If it doesn't, just add at the gaps. Just keep adding them at the gaps if it don't work. Microsoft, same thing. Look, Microsoft set near its this EMA. Doesn't get there that often. So take half position. If it works, great. Off to the races. If it doesn't, where could we add this at? Oh man, it's hard to tell on Microsoft because it's been in this range since last year. I could say maybe the lows of last year, right here, 384. If this fails, maybe 384. I could see.
And make it count.
All right, time for us to stop trading.
Nvidia.
You know, I'm looking at there's Palo Alto last week reported P and there was a great miscarriage.
All-time highs for Nvidia, man.
Really great, and I think Ashura raised numbers.
Shortly. Dell. I think that they announced that deal with Tesla, like $5 billion or something. I guess servers or something.
People have to know at home that stuff happens.
These guys report earnings soon.
I saw that they got
27.
Negative story. I'm reading the Comscore, and Comscore's like fantastic. I went for the jobs, so I was like so thrilled.
That's would have been a great buy. See, it doesn't go below the blue indicator. Just one spot right here. They tried. Nope. Check this thing back up. Can't catch them all, man. Yeah. Only got 2 hands and 2 eyeballs. I can't get them all. I guess 4 eyes if you include the glasses.
Like I said, their PRIR, they really improved. It was really terrible for a while.
KKR?
It was very adversarial.
See, KKR might be in a sweet spot too.
Have a great rest of the day.
I'll see you soon. Yes, you will.
Let's go below these here.
Your mom was very sweet.
Thank you. Glad to hear that. We got some breaking housing data after the break. Don't go anywhere.
KKR is like a private equity. Blackstone. BlackRock. These are good positions to add in. Southwest Airlines laying off 1,750 employees. Why though? Southwest Airlines, they didn't do much during the pandemic. I feel like they didn't like. And then they got hacked for a while. I remember. And they just kind of never recovered after that for Southwest Airlines. Dang. Man, back in like when I was in college, everyone loved Southwest Airlines. They loved this thing. Like over 10 years ago. I mean, that's not that many. 1,750 employees. That's nothing. Compared to Chevron, they're laying off like 10,000. Like 20% of their employees. So yeah, 20%. Let's see, Chevron that intends to commence major layoffs this year. Cut could reach 20% cut could result in the severance of over 9,000 workers. Gotta fund those buybacks, man. Gotta pay them dividends somehow. Chevron, Conoco. ConocoPhillips, I like this one. They're a very clean company. They don't have too much like overseas exposures. They bought a lot of acquisitions pretty cheap. Let's see. How cheap? Cheap suits. So yeah, 280. Let me see. S&P. Oh, there it goes. That pullback. Nice. So I said this area. I prefer this area here.
China's President Xi Jinping met with a number of his country's top entrepreneurs, including Alibaba co-founder Jack Ma.
Pulling back.
Later this hour, plus Southwest. Take a look at that stock announcing plans to cut 15% of its corporate workforce, or about 1,750 jobs. The first mass layoff in the airline's 53-year history. Shares down about 1.2%.
Yeah.
And we are keeping a very close eye on Meta in the red, but coming off 20 consecutive days of gains, the longest daily winning streak for any stock in the S&P 500 since 2020. The stock now up 1.5% this year.
Oh yeah, Meta pulling back too. Housing data, what did it say?
In February, dropped sharply, down 5 points to 42 on the NAHB housing market index. The street was looking for a 1-point drop, and that is the lowest level in 5 months. Last February, it was at 48. Anything below 50 is considered negative, and sentiment had been rising. But builders cite concerns over tariffs, elevated mortgage rates, and high housing costs. Of the index,
Stanley Black & Decker, Scott's Miracle-Gro.
Sales expectations in the next 6 months dropped 13 points to 46, and buyer traffic dropped 3 points to 29. That future sales component is the lowest since December of 2023.
What happened to Enbridge? What the heck?
NAHB's chairman Carl Harris said
Why did this fall off?
builders hold
What the heck
out
happened
hope
here?
for pro-development policies, particularly for regulatory reform. Policy uncertainty and cost factors created a reset for 2025 expectations in the most recent HMI. Now, the builders also noted 32% of appliances and 30% of softwood lumber come from international
What happened to
trade.
Enbridge?
Builders
What the
did
heck?
note that responses collected before the pause in tariffs were even lower. But even after that, they were still quite low, David, because that was just February 3rd, as you remember.
What is going on here?
I do. Diana, thank you. Diana Olick. NASDAQ's coming off a fresh all-time high as of Friday, and it's inches from another all-time high this morning. Sam Toli's here to sort of set us up for the week, so to speak. Certainly me as well. I was away for a bit.
Yeah, that's right.
Is it because of the pipeline stuff? Let me see.
It's been kind of remarkably steady in the sense that the market's been able to, the S&P 500 hovering around this 6,100 area. In other words, hovering near.
That's weird.
Kind of hanging around the net, even as you had a lot of noises. And I'm surprised to see.
I don't know why Enbridge is falling.
That little bit of a mini panic did dissipate by the end of the week. The bond market didn't really extrapolate from there.
That threw me off.
When you had this short 3-month sideways period where you seem like
That's a Canadian pipeline.
I think people give the market
Canadian pipeline. Canadian railroads. Kinder Morgan. Yeah, it's just Enbridge. I'm not sure what will happen here. Why is this falling off? Anyone know what happened with Enbridge?
I think you sort of say it's been a great start to the year. You're up like 4% in the S&P 500.
I used to own this. I was thinking about picking this up again.
And you're kind of benefiting from the initial conditions and the fact that 78% of companies are beating estimates, and fourth quarter earnings are up 16%. Absent that, you might have a little more of a struggle to deal with, you know, the kind of tariff flux that we have in front of us. It's been a quiet little stretch, though, so we haven't had to deal with that very directly in the last couple of days.
The overarching narrative when we started the year was that U.S. stocks were going to vastly outperform the rest of the world.
Yes.
We see the exact opposite to start 2025. It has to do with tariffs, and we're still trying to figure out where policy stands, but that's been notable.
And I think the starting point as well, and so, you know, the U.S. had outperformed by so much. The market was so much more expensive than the rest of the world. You know, there was a sense out there that the Fed was going to be cutting pretty steadily, and now you have that in question. Whereas you have the rest of the world, low expectations, low levels of economic activity, the prospect for upside surprise and acceleration from there. And of course, China, you guys were talking about that last hour, has been one of those situations. We had rock bottom expectations the last few months, and maybe some incremental benefit. So also just crowded positioning. I think, you know, our indexes go the way of the mega cap growth trade, and that has basically, you know, been a little more mixed, let's say, in the last few months.
Yeah. I'm looking at shares of Meta down 2%.
Yeah.
But that streak, it's notable.
It's kind of remarkable. I was pointing out last week, at one point, Meta had added exactly as much market cap year to date that Tesla had lost, and it was close to 300 billion. So essentially, there's been this weird kind of reorientation in terms of the favorites versus the ones that need to cool off a little bit. But yeah, Meta's being seen as favored across many fronts. You know, I think it also does reflect that this market's been willing to push into the winners very aggressively and hang in there. You can look at things even like Costco and Palantir, down the list of these kind of, you know, stocks that seem like they've been bulletproof coming into the year, and they've all worked.
So speaking of bulletproof, you look at gold, that breakout there continues and often seen as sort of a quote-unquote Trump trade, yet the dollar weakening,
That's crazy.
of course, has helped the gold story. I wonder how long that can last, especially in this economic environment.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many
Market's still pulling back.
Why gold is working. Central banks, you have a little bit of a
I remove this.
whatever policies.
Market's still pulling back. S&P maybe back here. 60, 77. 60, 77, 60, 96.
You know, store of value in general that is not
Yeah, I can see
correlated
it.
to any one kind of government.
And you can do a coin flip here, because there's also support right here.
It's hanging in there.
Go back 25 years now on gold, and it looks pretty good.
Looks great.
But to be honest, I like it, this area. Like for me,
You know, I mean, obviously
these
there's
trades,
long periods of
this
time
area I
where
like
there's
better.
absolutely nothing.
Without a doubt.
The other funny part
And
is,
this would be the
it
ultimate
wasn't
sweet
as
spot
if
here.
the inflationary shock
Will they
was
get there?
great
I don't
for
know.
gold in the moment. You know, so it's kind of like, it's sort of eye of the beholder in terms of what gold is actually giving you, aside from, you know, a little bit of diversification against whatever's driving the rest of your portfolio.
Yeah. All right, let's turn from the markets to Washington, D.C. Megan Casella has the latest. It was another busy weekend at the White House. Megan.
We all are, David. The spotlight right
right now is on Doge as it attempts to access sensitive consumer information across federal agencies. So at the Social Security Administration, the acting administrator there was replaced, and then she resigned late yesterday after refusing to allow Doge-affiliated employees to access data, including Social Security numbers and bank information. And then at the IRS, a Doge employee is expected to soon access a highly guarded data system there that includes sensitive taxpayer information. These standoffs coming at the same time that Doge laid off thousands of federal employees over the weekend at agencies that included the FAA, the CDC, Agriculture Department, Homeland Security, and the Department of Transportation. So a number of states have sued to try to at least temporarily block Doge's access and stop mass
15
firings.
minutes.
The federal
Yeah,
judge of
or
that
support
case
here
says that she needs more evidence of
on the
improper
ES, but
harm
most importantly,
to
when the
allow
market's trading,
forward. But
the
there
S&P
is a
cash
case
index
challenging Trump's
is the
power
most
to fire
important
officials.
to
And
look at.
this one
The
would now become the
SPX.
first in the Trump era to reach the Supreme Court. It centers on
Not
Trump's
exactly
hiring of
there yet,
Hampton
but it could. Just
Dellinger,
moves up.
headed the office of the
Let's see.
special counsel. Dellinger appealed
Look at
his
the
firing.
1 hour
A local
chart.
court then
Yeah.
ordered to temporarily
Or support here.
reinstate
They
him.
bought it.
And now the Trump
It doesn't say it can go
administration
lower.
is appealing
Kind of like
that
here.
ruling to the Supreme Court.
Or
The
here.
administration asking the court to overturn the ruling, saying in a filing
It could
that
get
lower
like
courts
down here
should not be
overnight.
allowed to
You know.
dictate to the president how long he must employ
There's some room
an
to go
agency
down here
head.
on the R
So
side.
as of this morning, the case now officially
Doesn't
on
mean
the
it'll
Supreme
come
Court's
down here,
docket.
but there's a
Dellinger
chance.
said
Like
to
I'd rather
the
buy
administration
here
by 2 p.m. tomorrow
than
and
right here in the
launch
middle.
there
I guess
about
it's kind of like a
presidential
coin
power.
flip.
Guys.
Yeah, across the board, Megan. A lot to watch. Thank you for keeping track of it. Turning back to the broader markets, our next guest predicts 2025 will be a year
Pull
of two
back.
halves, warning that the latter half of the year could see mild stagflation and as much as a 10% sell-off in the S&P.
Let's see the NASDAQ. Oh, it's an inverted head and shoulders too. This is the right shoulder, head, left shoulder. It could be forming a bull flag and keep going higher. Let's look at the NASDAQ. Pulling back too. 1 hour right here, support of the NASDAQ. Right here. Probably take a long here. Let's see.
The Fed is sounding like they may not cut again, and the yield curve is flat. It probably would be positive.
Yeah, I would do like one contract. If it was me, do one contract. If it doesn't work, just get stopped out and then wait for this here. Kind of like here, see, we got bought.
And what does that mean, I suppose, in terms of portfolio approach right now? If you assume, I guess, that we're still going to be feeding off.
I think we're just gonna be like doing nothing for the rest of the day. Weekly chart.
Well, you've got a 10-year yield, for example, that's 4.5%.
We're not that far from the all-time highs. I mean, we might not even pull back that much and just like this could be like the ending. Like this could be it. And then go and take out those all-time highs.
Purchasing Manager Index for manufacturing currently around 50. If that makes its way up into the low 50s, then the no landing theme gains traction because some of the high PE multiple growth stocks would pull back. Not so much because they're poor investments, although I would argue they're spending all of their cash flow on capital spending, so they really don't have a lot of free cash flow to value. But that said, the broadening of the market would cause the cap-weighted S&P, which is really top-heavy with tech, to pull back. The back half economic concerns are a whole different matter. That has to do with real wages, cyclical slowing, productivity.
So yeah, pullback. So this could be it, man. This could be the end of the pullback here. Like I said, I mean, we're not that far from the all-time highs.
The sort of inflation part of it, right, where you basically don't get a lot of relief on the inflation measure. You did have, Fed.
And we're not even overbought yet on the weekly. Once we get like around these levels, I would start definitely try to hedge.
Influence going to bear on what we end up seeing in the interplay of growth and inflation.
Well, tariffs a little bit like tax and value-added tax that's happened in Japan and in Europe over the years. They can be seen as a temporary one-off step up in inflation. But more important to us is this matter of unit labor costs. We actually think productivity,
Huntsman. Oh, they did beat earnings.
basis rather than quarterly annualized, has peaked obviously, and it's going to dissipate as the year goes on.
DuPont.
This
Usual.
is very common.
Honeywell.
And one would argue that 22 to 23.
Honeywell's got a sweet spot too.
Employment. So as the productivity dissipates, unit labor costs.
I still wonder why Enbridge came down.
Stays relatively strong, and that means the core PCE inflation will stay closer to 2.75. Fed wants it to be 2.5 for the year, and if they don't get what they want, then no rate hikes or no rate cuts are coming, and possibly hikes by 2026.
Dominion Energy not doing much.
Yeah, obviously a lot of things moving on all those different axes. Barry, thanks a lot for laying it out for us. Appreciate the time this morning.
Sure.
Better news, a Delta Airlines regional jet crashing while landing yesterday at Toronto's International Airport. Philip Boak here with the latest.
Yo, what's up, Kev?
What caused that crash?
What's going on, brother? Maybe I'll show my face. Hold on. See if I can fix my camera, though. It's cold, bro. It's cold outside.
Into that crash, which, by the way, it doesn't look like terrible weather in this video. It was terrible weather in terms of the high winds and an icy runway. The NTSB, FAA are also assisting the Canadian investigators, and this is the video that's getting the most attention. The passengers getting out of this
Dominion.
about 76 passengers
I don't
on
know.
board.
This utility doesn't do that. It used to be good, and then they sold off all their pipelines to Berkshire, and then it kind of just fell off after.
You're not thrown all over the cabin. There were only
Oh, he did?
21 injuries. No fatalities.
Damn, it must have been empty, no?
Passengers quickly evacuated, and again, the winds were challenging.
It's the office. It must have been empty. Was it empty a bit from the holiday? I thought the market was open yesterday. I was sad when I forgot it was closed, man.
That will give them a better sense along
It
with,
is, dude. I want to visit. I want to visit it someday,
what
man.
happened yesterday. As you take a look at the airline stocks, no fallout.
Did you have to pay for it or no?
Impacting these stocks, certainly not at Delta. It's down fractionally, but that's not because of this accident. Keep in mind that all of the airline stocks, they are close to 52-week highs.
Dude, I wonder why this one's
Right now,
just
guys,
not
when
doing.
you look
I
at the
mean,
airlines, despite all of these incidents, and there have been 2 involving airlines, the rest have been private
including the
jets
membership,
in the last
dude. That's
couple weeks.
awesome.
We still see incredible demand out there, record demand, as we head into the rest of 2025.
Phil, while I've got you, different subject, but obviously another area of your expertise or continued in airlines. Southwest, these layoffs, 15% of the corporate workforce. It's not going to do much of anything.
Dude, that's awesome.
But I am just sort of curious to get your reaction, given you covered the company for so long.
They
Yeah,
needed it.
Pacific.
And look, this is one of the main things that Elliott
The
talked about when it
railroads.
was the investors Elliott Group was
This is the
saying,
only one
we
that's
wanna
doing
take a
good.
stake
Union
in
Pacific and
Southwest
Canadian
because we
Pacific,
believe
but
it
Canadian
needs to be
Pacific
better managed. And when Bob
is
George,
Canadian,
the
it's
CEO,
not
put out
American.
yesterday saying, look, we are going to have these cuts. It's painful, but it needs to be done. One of the things he talked about is the fact that their corporate or white-collar costs are rising faster than the rest
Honeywell.
of their costs within the company and their revenue potential.
S&P.
So this is all about getting the company
Oh, still pulling back. Let me see.
Okay, we're up to
Oh,
Southwest
yeah.
Airlines shares basically flat on the day. Phil, thank you. We'll check in with you soon.
Is it raining over there?
Here's our roadmap for the rest of the hour. Former Commerce Secretary
it looks like it's about to rain here.
Carlos Gutierrez with us, breaking down what he thinks of Trump's tariffs.
I still think
and all
I
these
think it'll
different
get
headlines.
maybe
Chip
here.
makers Broadcom and Taiwan Semi, or at least Taiwan Semi, are
1696 on S&P.
eyeing, this idea of splitting Intel
And the
into
Bulls
two.
aren't really doing
We'll talk
anything.
about that
I mean, they're trying, but
And China's President Xi hosting a rare meeting with business leaders in the
who
country.
fell?
including several
Allegiant,
Chinese tech giants.
Conagra. Conagra fell? What happened? They reported bad earnings?
A big show.
Oh, damn.
Walk on the street is back after this. S&P 500 just below the flat line.
Oh, it's a big gap down. What happened? Not yet. Whoa. You get paid a decent dividend with Conagra at least. Who's here? Autodesk, Elysian. I think that's insurance, no? I think that's an insurance. Let's see. I mean, it is bullish. It is at a support here for Elysian. But I don't know exactly what they do. What? Elysian buys next door? Oh wait, never mind. I thought it was that app. Okay, a maker of stainless steel and hollow metal doors. Okay, I thought they meant the next door, the app. Okay, so it's like residential stuff, I guess. What's his head? Or is that all they sell? Just doors? Hold on, let me check. Elysian. Oh, it is what it is. They sell doors. I think. Let's see. Just products. So they sell those, like, you know, those, like, security type doors, or sliding doors at, like, offices, those type. Mechanical door, okay. I get it now. BRB. Sounds good. Oh, Home Depot, man. Home Depot has some support here. I don't know, man. It might come down. I think Lowe's already reported. I rather own Lowe's. This one. Oh, shit. Oh, no. I thought Lowe's reported. My bad. They haven't yet. Oh, crap. Builders Force Source reported. Oh no, shoot, they're about to report too.
An enormous balance sheet on the debt side as to whether you would get to the point where it would be split. Broadcom, we know, is at interest as Qualcomm potentially has.
Look at Intel, man. Intel still. I think one of my viewers on TikTok wanted to buy Intel. I told him they pulled back, buy it, hold it. Right here, he told me here. I told him wait for the pullback. Take a position. If it goes higher, just hold it. I hope he bought it. There's that. It has this. Because I told him about the gap here. There's a big gap to fill here. It's not even there yet. For $29, Intel. If I can fill this gap right here. I don't even know how to. It's a little crooked, but yeah, around $28. Fill this gap. Almost $3 away. I still got time. Let me see. And it's right here, right at this EMA here. AVGO.
What really helps set them apart and make Intel a great again. If there's only one company that can do this, it's Taiwan Semi. They're the dominant player.
You mentioned the largest customers in Taiwan.
Paynet, Arista Networks.
To try to engineer something if you're the U.S. government, you want there to be a U.S. champion. Is it possible to somehow have a partnership that involves NVIDIA and Apple and the fabs itself? The Intel fabs, given their
support too.
would be such a large customer.
I think there was some chatter about some equity interest of
Uber?
Apple or NVIDIA in this type of deal that could potentially.
Intel acting right here. $2 billion stake in Uber went up. What about DoorDash? Dash. Oh, Dash, man. All-time highs for Dash? No way.
I think it's fascinating too in terms of
Nice.
trying to interpret the message
Airbnb.
of the market and how it's moving around.
Not exactly all-time highs, but I mean, it wants to go to its previous
in every respect.
highs from like 2 years ago, maybe.
Book value. Even right now, it's up 40% off the low. It's like 1.1 times book value. Now, that book value is not excessive.
I think this got downgraded today, Datadog.
It has an enormous debt load, of course.
I remember Cisco wanted to buy these guys at $20 billion a few years ago.
But it is interesting to say, it's just a spark that says maybe there is a way out, or maybe there's ways to
IBM,
surface value or
close to all-time highs again.
that it does. The other part of it is $110 billion market cap. Not a small company, but given the numbers we're talking about in terms of what the industry's throwing
It's trying.
at investment in
Schlumberger too.
capacity to build chips, it's kind of not that
Baker Hughes is consolidating there. That's crazy. I think. Let me see which one's worth more now.
The numbers are. The cloud companies are going to spend
Let me see.
$250 billion this year. On capital.
You know, speaking to at least one person who's sort of familiar with the situation, they didn't sense any momentum there. They did mention as well they need a US
Baker
solution.
Hughes market cap is
Frank Gehry, the company's chairman, longtime banker, by the way.
46 billion.
Is sort of leading whatever
Halliburton's
process
market
will
cap?
occur, he's kind of at the center of it. Is my understanding as well.
All right, let's move to a break. Berkshire Hathaway.
Like what,
a net
20 something
seller of
billion?
Stocks in the fourth quarter, but there was
It's not
one
showing
notable
me.
news purchase about $1 billion in shares of Constellation Brands. That stock gaining today on that news up 3.6%.
Well,
And still
either way,
China's President
I remember
Xi Jinping
Halliburton used to be worth more than Baker
tech
Hughes.
entrepreneurs.
That's
Details on
the, that's the
what could be
opposite.
of competition. That's next.
That bet in natural gas paid off for Baker Hughes. Helmerich Payne. Oh, Noble Energy beat? What? This is the offshore driller. Let me see. Oh no, miss. That would beat estimate. Sales beat. What's the other one? Belarus. I'm assuming Belarus will be similar, no? When they report? 219 after the market closes. Blackstone. Voya. Still remember Voya. Doesn't do anything though. PNC Bank. Also, Northern Trust. NTRs. This thing wants to break out of this bull flag. Probably test these highs again. 121. They got Starbucks. This too wants to test the all-time highs. It should get there soon. 115. Not that far. Like $3 away. But this thing's way overbought though. I wouldn't buy here, that's for sure. Gotta wait for a pullback or something. It doesn't mean it's just gonna fall down. It could just stay here and still go higher, but eventually it's gonna have to come down. McDonald's pulling back. I'd rather buy McDonald's, to be honest, at this pullback. QSR, not that good. Dang, there's a Taco Bell, Yum Brands, Taco Bell. Two also overbought. Wait for a pullback. Like if it comes back down here, just buy Taco Bell. Coke pulling back. It could go higher still. What are the price targets on this thing?
China's President Xi Jinping looking to hit the reset button.
72, 78,
Meeting with some of the top business
75.
leaders yesterday, those stocks
Yeah, so pullbacks on Coke probably be bought right here.
Well, it's very instrumental because it was
Pepsi. Pepsi's doing really bad.
This rare meeting, President Xi Jinping attempting to reassure private business, saying that
Pepsi is not Coke.
should feel reassured of his support, and also that they should feel free to fully display their talents. It's unclear, though, if any of them were convinced. President Xi Jinping has a years-long track record now of statements and actions that indicate that he is unfriendly to the private sector. At the same time, there appears to be some understanding that the private sector is critical to his stated goals, especially when it comes to the competition with the U.S. and President Trump. Some of those in speaking roles were the chief of Apple rival Huawei. As well
Look, Coke is gonna start competing with Olipop and Poppy. Coke said Tuesday will launch a soda promoting digestive health called Simply Pop this month. Pepsi's formulating a version in it in the spring. Jeez, man.
Guest lists hoping for some policy support. They were also selling off shares of those who were not on the list, including JD as well as Baidu. One notable person, though, there who attending was Alibaba's Jack Ma, and he was particularly notable because of the fact, as you guys well know, that he had disappeared largely from public life after Beijing forced the scrapping of the IPO of his fintech company, Ant Group. Guys?
Eunice, you know, there have been no shortage of false starts.
That's crazy.
To at least investors' hopes that there was a reversal, so to speak, in sort of the approach, the policy approach to the private sector. Do we have any sense that this is not going to be another false start?
KBR. Say KBR.
Well, it's very difficult to say. A lot of investors are very
Report
happy,
224.
but they're hoping that we're going to see
They're
some
engineering
positive,
firm.
support. President Xi had made some comments about possible tax breaks or maybe promoting a private economy promotion law that could potentially be discussed as early as next week. But at the same time, as you all know, we have had false starts, and it's difficult to say whether or not President Xi Jinping will make a wholesale change.
KKR is good. I like KKR. I mean KBR.
Is that he's fine with the
I was
private
getting
sector
confused.
as long as they
Welcome
serve
back, broski. Let's look at Nike. Oh, Nike. What? Trying to take off. Will it break out of this downtrend? They report 3-3.
Hey, Mike, good
Is that next week?
The U.S. and Russia agreed to restore embassy staffing in high-level talks
That's
today
like
in
2
Saudi
weeks.
Arabia. There were no Ukrainian officials involved in the talks, which were aimed at restoring U.S. ties with Moscow and negotiating an end to the war in Ukraine. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky
Lockheed
said
Martin.
after the meeting that he would not recognize any negotiations that do not involve his country.
Man, I'm hungry,
Ahead
man.
of today's talks,
hungry.
Russia freed an American being held in the country on drug charges in a goodwill gesture. Authorities arrested Caleb Byers earlier this month on drug charges after he was allegedly
Lockheed
found
Martin.
carrying a small amount of marijuana at a Moscow airport. And
Oh,
in a surprise
Bulls,
announcement
man.
today,
Bulls don't
Hamas
want to give
leader
up.
said the militant group plans to release 6 living hostages on Saturday and
That's a good spot to go long.
others on
It's
Thursday.
319,
This marks
advancing
the last
179.
release of
Decline.
living hostages to be freed under the ceasefire's first phase.
So this one like wants to go lower. Oversold on the 15-minute. Yeah, it's gonna go higher for sure.
Silvana, thank you.
What is
Well,
this?
Meta is down today, that is shares of Meta, but it
WGO.
is coming off a historic run of what are 20 consecutive days of gains. Truly a
Oh, did you hear,
But more, what
Kim?
exactly is
Coca-Cola is coming out with the
positive action, Julia?
Well, David,
like their version of Olipop or Poppy called Simply Pop. Yeah. Right here, I just saw it. This month it said Coke said Tuesday that it will launch soda promoting digestive health called Simply Pop this month. Pepsi is formulating a version it aims to sell in the spring. Yep. Damn.
by making a number of key changes, including rolling back Meta's third-party content moderation and scaling back certain
Oh, it does?
policies.
Maybe it could be under the Simply brands. That makes sense. Yeah. Damn, man. That kind of sucks for the other two. I bet they'll eventually get bought out. You know, tuck in acquisition by Coke or Pepsi. Or Dr. Pepper. But Dr. Pepper just bought an energy drink. Ghost energy drink. They just bought it like last month. Oh, let's get Chipotle. Well, Chipotle is not doing too good, but it's holding up. I don't know. This looks, the longer it stays here, the weaker the uptrend is. So this could kind of like fall like this. It takes too long down here. Qualcomm. Oh, it's that Qualcomm. 172, still down in that range? Jeez. Jacobs Engineering, doing pretty good. Dude, I want to try that Simply. How's Netflix? Pulling back for once. Yeah, this thing's been in a bullish trend forever, dude. Disney's been in a range. I mean, it broke the downtrend up finally, but it did that once before and they sold it back. Maybe it could happen with Disney again. I don't know. I haven't kept up with Disney in a while. Comcast. I'd rather own Comcast because they have the cable, internet, and then they got the parks. You see, trying to go back up. It was at like 40 for a while. That's 35. Biscuit for the biscuit this week for the dude. I'm trying to figure out what I had for dinner last night. Oh man. Oh, that's what I had. I had curry chicken. Had chicken curry last night. There we go. Let me see, dude. Let me see if Truth Barbecue. What time do they open, Kev? The Truth Barbecue. Let me see. They open at 11. I'm still holding UPS over here, chilling. It did fall. It did. For some reason, it fell in the morning, but now it's trying to reclaim it. Doom, 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 doom. And what's the weather gonna be like tomorrow? Let's see. Damn, it's gonna be windy. AF, bro. Thursday's gonna be 29. What do you think, bro? Risking it for the biscuit.
We've been talking a lot about Doge. Let me get your take on that. Let's start with tariffs. A lot of reporting of late that, the exemptions that existed in the first Trump administration will not be available in the still early days of figuring out exactly where things are going to end up.
Dude, I want to eat there. We have to camp out, man. Like exactly at 11. We have to get there at the open.
So there are like 4 different buckets of tariffs, each one with a different motivation. Each one with
What do you think?
potential solution. So it, will depend a lot on what is right for the
S&P, let's look at it again. S&P 500. Yep, I said it would be bought. It's being bought. I was looking at the advancing, declining. It was the advances were too much, man. It was trading down here as if it was like half of that. Yep, there it goes. How many points is that? If I would have gotten down here, like what? 7 points. Crude oil pulling back. Let it go. Oh, it's trying. Are we gonna end that war? Hopefully. I don't know.
Carlos, obviously the state of aid is one of them you just mentioned, reducing the trade deficit. The other is to continue to try to move manufacturing back to the United States. Do you think it's going to work?
Well, we'd have to look at their
Right?
Is it possible that we keep these tariffs in place more strategically to bring back investment for
Lockheed Martin. I had bought Lockheed Martin here at this gap. Could it go lower? Yeah, especially if they end the war, but I doubt it, man. I mean, doubt it that they're gonna stop spending a lot. I think Europe's gonna have to start pulling up their own weight. I mean, the U.S. did all the work, man. Like when the Ukraine got invaded, the U.S. was the only one taking action. Literally, we're like in the other ocean away. The U.S. was the one that was doing the most, sending weapons like overseas and the ships and stuff. So obviously Trump's like, all right, man, we're done holding your hand. We might not be there to help you next time, but just start spending on defense just in case we can't help you the next time. So because we got bigger things to focus on, we got China and stuff like that. So Europe will have to be united somehow. That's about Lockheed. Plus, it filled this gap. What was that? This gap, Lockheed Martin. I only took a small. I only have like 130 shares. This thing's expensive. $429. Where did I get filled? I got filled at. I'm looking. I got filled at 425. 425.17. Yeah, so a few dollars back. 420. So I got filled. It's still cheap here. Even at this price, Lockheed is cheap. And you get paid a dividend. I might add to it. It's like I literally got filled like near here, like the bottom. It actually came down too. People bought that up. But it is in a downtrend a little bit here. There's a lot of tug of war going on right here. Any news? I mean, this good. Says Shares of U.S. defense stocks trading higher after following reports that Trump is open to allowing Europe to purchase American-made arms for Ukraine. It was also reported Taiwan is considering arms purchase from U.S. I mean, what else? I mean, it shouldn't be down here, to be honest. It's oversold. This is a weekly chart too. It's down here, man. That's even better for it to go higher, man. When it's down here on the long-term time frame. Because you can technically write it all the way up over here. I don't know. I'm thinking about switching my UPS into Lockheed. I'm thinking. I don't know. It's the thing with man. It's the thing investing in stocks where it gets too political. I hate investing in it too much. Chips too, man. UPS 1560. UPS 2 is down here, man. That's why I bought it. It could go lower. It might not go lower. FedEx 2, man. The FedEx report already? Or they're about to report? They're reporting 320. That's quite a ways. Crown Castle. Oh, they're about to report too. They're the big what you gonna call it? Cell phone towers. Man, I used to own, I made a bunch of money with this stock back when it was like $108. I rode to like 120, 140, and then it just, and it's at like 89 bucks. It's so cheap. I have a lot of debt though. That's a problem. American Tower 2. They're the same. I also get U-Haul. Dang it, U-Haul. Why is it like that, man? U-Haul. Look at it. I remember trying to buy it down here, U-Haul. But it just moves so slow. Like, I feel like I would get bored of it. I got 74, man. That would have been a nice move. Oh well. What's it? Prologis. Just chilling there. What's another? Oh, Public Storage. Hey, Public Storage is pretty cheap down here, man. Let me see. Yes. Earnings 224. What's the other one? Life Storage, something like that. I can get it. I can find it. Life Storage. I just don't remember what the ticker is. Oh, is it Extra Space? Oh, Extra Space bought Life Storage. There you go. Extra Space bought Life Storage. I think. See? I think it was Extra Space. I bought Life Storage. Dang, look at this. Man, that's crazy. It's probably like the only defense contractor that's perfect. Just perfect. It didn't even go down when the others went down. It just kept going up. Lockheed Martin, intraday highs, I think.
Gold is up nearly 50% in the last 12 months, but one futures trader sees it going higher still. He'll show you how he's buying it now. Tune in to our Market Navigator segment today on Power Lunch at 2 p.m.
S&P, they pulling back still. I don't know, it's 350 over 150. Autodesk. Did I report good earnings or something? Oh shit. Hold up. What happened here? Accounting practices or something? Let me see. I don't see nothing on Autodesk. So, I don't know. Something fishy going on here. For sure. Something really fishy. It was the same thing with Enbridge. It fell off a lot. I'm like, something really fishy is going on here.
Let's get to Dom Chu with more on what is moving.
There's no news.
What do you see?
All right, so Steve, let's start off with a look at the best performing sector of the day, and that's energy as oil futures rise on the heels of that Ukrainian drone
Oh, there they are.
on a Russian oil pumping station that threatens supplies in the Caspian Sea.
Dude, that's crazy.
Those higher prices
Don't apply for it, man. Don't do it.
companies like ExxonMobil, which is up about 1.5%, APA up nearly 2%, and Halliburton as well, up 2.25%. Meanwhile, on the consumer front, ConAgra currently the biggest laggard in the entire S&P. The food processor behind brands like Bird's Eye frozen veggies, also Duncan Hines cake mix, lowered its full-year forecast due to supply chain disruptions and foreign exchange headwinds, among other
Dow Chemical trying.
That's having a ripple effect on other food processors in the consumer staples sector, like General Mills, Smucker's, Campbell, and Lamb Weston. You can see all of those stocks in the red so far today. So food processing stocks taking a hit, and will end on a move higher in shares of casino operator Wynn Resorts.
Wynn
Trend
Resorts.
that consumer discretionary sector underperforms on the day. Wynn is getting some help from analysts at Jefferies.
Oh, dude, at BNY Mellon, you know, right after I left, about 90% of the team left after me. One of the coworkers that started with me, she said, yeah, she told me, she's like, Mike, it's like, how you doing? It's like, yeah, I'm doing good and everything. She's like, yeah, like, you know, after you left, everyone else left after you. Like 90% of the team left. But you know what's also crazy is that they're all working at the same company now. So my coworker left first to FIS, and then shortly after, my manager that got fired is working at FIS, and about the rest of the team is not working for FIS. Yep, 100% remote because there's no office in Houston. They're doing the same thing what they were doing at BNY, but they don't have to go to the office because there's no offices here for FIS. But yeah, man, that's crazy, man. I had a feeling that was gonna happen because everyone loved. Well, except I didn't really love my boss because I didn't really know him that well. But everyone else in the team, you know, they were there for like 10 plus years, you know, and they were with my boss that entire time. So I guess when they fired my boss, everyone was just like, I guess very unhappy. So basically, they all followed my boss to FIS, except maybe like 3 people. Nah, man, I was so bad, dude. You knew, bro. You know, bro. I'm good. S&P 358. There you go. And then one of my coworkers from Invesco texted me not to. I gotta call her because she told me to call her for some reason. See what's up over there. Crude oil pulling back. Microsoft, nothing much. Google, nothing much. Google's kind of weak here, but doesn't go down that often here. See right here? Went down below the blue EMA. bought it back up right here too now. It doesn't mean it'll go higher, but it could. Doesn't stay down here very long under the blue. The only one that gets me are the gaps. There's a gap here that it came down to. One that comes and fills it here, and there's another gap down over here, but I don't know how valid this is. This was
ahead of its potential London IPO, e-commerce giant Shein seeking to ease investor concerns following a crackdown from
unless tech sells off, but I doubt it because Nasdaq futures are doing pretty good too. NQ. At the 4-hour at support Nasdaq, yeah, Nasdaq too.
less than $800. In his letter, Tang saying, long advocated for a tax reform that prioritizes American consumers.
Bro, I'm starving Marvin.
On customers, not customs policy. Transparency and accountability are essential for a healthy global trade system. Meantime, Shein is denying reports that it recently raised prices in response to tariffs. Reports a global bank that
Tariffs.
potential listing here, guys, in London.
In London, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
CME.
XAI releases its
Damn, I remember I used to trade this when it was at like $180. Damn, this thing's at $250. $250.
I can't wait to chat and learn more about each other. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, let's bring the info that he's got more for us. They're saying
All right, BRB. Take a restroom break. BRB.
One of these websites, David, that try to gauge the difference of some of these AI models and
more coffee.
And is Meta's rally
Whoops.
coming to an end, coming off 20 straight up days? We'll look at some of the technical levels on the stock over that
What's
stretch
Broski
as it
up
pulls
to?
back a little bit this morning.
Plus, an upgrade for Snowflake after its best January ever. Wolf Research comes off the sidelines for the
Damn,
first time in 2 years,
Starbucks.
saying a rally could be coming
Oh, Best Buy.
just a week ahead of earnings.
Right now, the markets, they've been toggling around the flat line, the S&P 500 up.
Oh, someone asked me about Big Bear AI.
At the moment, Russell 2000 outperforming those, so it is a broader move higher.
Big Bear
Up 0.6
AI.
1% 10-year Treasury yield, just above that 4.5%.
Consolidating.
Let's stick with the markets. The S&P
Snowflake.
fresh intraday high in today's session.
Did they
while broader
report?
indexes
Not yet.
continue their climb
I don't think
higher.
Snowflake.
Underneath the surface, path has been
Oh,
anything but smooth as investors contend
226.
numerous policy uncertainties. Despite various cross currents, our next guest sees 10%
WD-40.
upside for the S&P for the year. Joining us here,
Right
at
here
Post
chilling.
UBS Global Wealth Senior Portfolio Manager Alan Reckshoff. And Alan, good to see you.
Mike, it's always good to be here. Thank you. Hi, Seema. How are you?
So we had really a pretty good start to the year on the index level.
Guys
It
supported
seems
us.
like it's withstood a lot of noise, a lot of potential bumps and scares along the way. Where do you think that positions us at this point?
So we're looking for an upside, a base case of up 10%, but we have monumental changes going on. We have a president promising us a golden age. We have focus on spending cuts. We have real technological improvements that are unprecedented going on. So we want to take risk in the equity markets. We like the equity markets.
So you mentioned, technological improvements, and there's this kind of secular growth change, world being remade by AI, among other things. On the other side, maybe there's going to be some attention to the fiscal side. Many people have pointed to has been one of the supports for the economy. So do those things act in tension to one another?
I don't think so at all. Secretary Bessent talks about government being spending minus taxes. And if we can decrease spending, if we can really shore up what America is, the American economy, that lays the backdrop for a successful economy and a successful stock market. And that's really where I think that we see the positivity and why we want to be in the stock market and have that be our risk asset.
But there is uncertainty around tariffs, but yet the market has been able to sort of look through that uncertainty. How long does that last? Now, there's certain sectors you want to be positioned in that are perhaps less vulnerable.
Yeah, the market's certainly become much more mature in handling discussions of tariffs. And it seems that the market understands that when President Trump is positioning and strategizing using tariffs, that there's a reality in that he's very sensible and reasonable about his approach to tariffs. The Treasury Department's going to come out with a study on the impact of certain tariffs. And this is being well studied and being handled in a prudent way, and the market, I think, understands that.
You will hold that view even if some of the tariffs on Europe and Mexico are enacted on March 6th, if we get those reciprocal tariffs as well?
Well, it's difficult to deal with a hypothetical, but I think that if those tariffs are implemented, we're shifting from a period of free trade to fair trade. And at the end of the day, a strong America is good for the world. And that's why I think you see the global markets doing well. America's doing well, and the tariffs are designed to make America better.
We've been running, 6 to 7% deficits as a percentage of GDP for a while. Almost everyone believes that's, probably too much. But another way to phrase the fiscal deficit is it's private sector surplus. Like, the money's there, and it's been borrowed at cheap rates by the U.S. government. So I just wonder if you think that somehow, Secretary Bessent has talked about getting that down to 3% over time.
So the S&P pulling back 344. It's not that much.
Progress that is still not
Right.
known.
We'll probably just chill here for like the rest of the day. I think the market's done.
How is it possible that we spent a generation watching
Pull
America
back,
lose tens of
take
millions
off
of dollars
again.
every year on the penny? It sounds like a silly
As
thing,
it,
but
it's coming close to lunchtime in New York.
we've joked about since we were kids.
Well, that's
about-
true. There's so many of those things. The question is what they collectively add up to, I guess.
No, and I think that we don't know what the number is, but we know what the target is and we know what the goal is. And the fact that we have an administration that's focused on that goal of decreasing spending is in and of itself a positivity that you've seen in the animal spirits in the market.
Simultaneously, U.S. and Russian government officials meeting in Saudi to talk about the prospect of ending the war in Ukraine, a possible summit between President Trump and Putin. How are you thinking about it as an investor?
But will it work? I don't know.
U.S.-Russia relations, the impact that could have
Let's
on
see.
America.
What kind of stocks we're looking at? Apple, not doing a lot of nothing. Stair stepping up, basically. Going to buy Apple at a pullback, maybe. Shoot, maybe here, 235. Then you would need tech to fall. So now the Nasdaq in general is pretty strong. So this would be like, I would take like a half position here and just kind of add to it if it comes down to these areas. If it doesn't, then I mean, at least you took half a position long. AMD is not that good. It's hard, man. Nvidia is just, Nvidia's just eating them up. Their GPUs weren't like not even close to Nvidia's performance. As they were claiming it, you know, that they had like the next, you know, greatest and latest and greatest. It didn't turn out to be that way. That's why AMD has been punished. If you compare it to Nvidia's chart, it's no brainer. So we got Microsoft. Microsoft finally. Microsoft is trying. It's green. In the weekly chart, at least it's at support. Google trying. Layoffs? What? Again? Go to live studio. Hey, Kev, what do you think? Truth still? What do you think? If you're down, if I'm down? Shit. I had to leave right away, right now. That way, we just leave immediately to that place. What do you think, broski? Why is it? I don't know why it says it's inactive. I don't understand. I mean, I'm moving my mouse around and stuff. I just don't get it. Okay, alright, we'll try it. Alright, we'll try it this time. Okay. I'll leave. I'll leave right now. Then I'll go straight over there. And we leave. Alright, I'm logging off.